it's amazing how many people didn't get that memo. Just over and over and over and over again. That I'm going to dart in and out. I'm going to be smarter. I'm going to wait. Well, you all these things may be true, but you're playing with fire, and you shouldn't play with fire.
The value of Bitcoin is not fixed in any way. It thrives on instability. It reaches previously unheard of heights one day. Investors are left striving to comprehend its unexpected nature as it plummets the next day. There isn't random chaos in this fluctuation. A stochastic process is a term from statistics and probability that refers to systems that are subject to chance. Bitcoin functions in an environment that is molded by probabilities rather than certainties, much like the majority of our universe. Fred Krueger, a well-known cryptocurrency expert, discusses in this riveting interview how a combination of macroeconomic dynamics, market emotion, regulatory news, and adoption patterns contribute to Bitcoin's erratic price fluctuations. For instance, Bitcoin surged to about $20,000 in 2017 before plummeting by more than 80% in 2018. It increased past $60,000 in 2021 before plummeting once more. These variations are a necessary part of its character as a decentralized speculative asset, not an exception. It takes a strong understanding of statistics and risk management to comprehend Bitcoin's volatility. Without this framework, it is hard to grasp the patterns of Bitcoin's movement, leaving one handicapped. Although the fluctuations might seem random to those who possess the tools of probability, the variance can be examined, quantified, and even predicted. The story of Bitcoin is not one of certainty. It's about accepting the opportunities that instability brings and adjusting to the unpredictability.
Leverage is going to get you in trouble every single time in Bitcoin. Like everybody who blew up, they all blew up because of leverage, right? That's why they blew up. It took me a while to really understand Bitcoin, the value proposition, and B, how to play Bitcoin, which is you do not trade Bitcoin. I do think that the one thing that gets people is this leverage, and it's just completely unnecessary because I don't care how much big your stack is. You really do not need to borrow 2x on it. There's just no reason to do that, right? And it's pretty simple math. Bitcoin can drop 50%. It can, and people are like, well, it can't drop 50% from here because it can only drop 50%. Well, you don't know that. It can drop 50% from anywhere. From any point, you have to have the belief that Bitcoin can drop 50%. And even if it's at the bottom of the support of some model, it can still drop 50%. It's a highly volatile thing, which can drop 50%. So if something can drop 50%, now, it also tends to, over time, go up a lot. It is a very high-performing asset, right? But it's an asset that can drop 50%. So if you are leveraged 2-to-1, there is a non-zero probability that you are going to get completely and utterly wiped out, over time. And, it's amazing how many people didn't get that memo. Just over and over and over and over again. That, I'm going to dart in and out. I'm going to be smarter. I'm going to wait. Well, all these things may be true, but you're playing with fire, and you shouldn't play with fire. What you should do is you should take some percentage of your net worth and just put it in Bitcoin and literally not touch it until that thing is 10x. You should not have a situation where all of your money can get wiped out by some wick down. And you could say it'll never happen, but by definition, you need to compartmentalize things so that whatever you're doing, nothing can happen. And whatever you're saying is that black swan, we've lived through enough black swans now to know that black swans happen. And they happen not only with Bitcoin, they happen with finance. I mean, they happen all over the place. As a guy's been in finance, what did I see? I saw the October, 87 crash. I was there, I saw the Japan crash, right, in 1990. I was there, floor of Nomura Stock Exchange the day it crashed, the day it peaked. It didn't completely crash in one day, but But, so I saw the crash of the Japanese market very closely. The great financial crisis crash, saw that, was there, been there, done that, And now you get all the crypto crashes, right? 2017 was there, that 2013, I wasn't big enough that it mattered. It was insignificant for me. But, and then 2022, been there, lived through the crash, right? So, I've been through all these crashes, and the learning is crashes happen. Crashes happen. Crashes. And so, do I think that there will be another crash in the next 5 years? 100%. There's going to be, we are living in a very unstable world, right? The financial world is unstable. $35 trillion in debt, 122% GDP is unstable. There's a lot of things that are unstable now with this world. So holding Bitcoin and having leverage with it is unstable. So you have to allow for a lot of instability in this world. And I think it can be positive, right? It can work to your advantage. And that's why I would recommend people not be 100% in Bitcoin, right? I think, we've talked about this kind of independently, using the Kelly criterion or some other criterion, but you should be something, even if you're mega, mega bullish on Bitcoin, you should be something like 60 or 70% invested in Bitcoin. That's it. You should never be beyond that, right? Never, ever, right? Why? Because if it totally crashes, you're going to want to pick some up. You want to have some dry gunpowder, right? Maybe you're going to be able to buy some crazy miner for, a third of the price of the mining equipment, it's, I'm reading this book on John D. Rockefeller right now. And, he got really big in 1872, and there was this crisis in the oil world. And basically you'd walk to these other refineries, and he would be like, okay, I'm going to buy you for 1/4 of the cost of your equipment. And people would be like, well, why should I sell to you? It's because you're either going to get that and you're going to grow with me, or you're going to get nothing. I'm going to wipe you out. Your quarter is going to go to zero. So if I were you, I would just sell to me. And everybody did it. And he was right. And they actually did very well. The people who did sell to him did very well because, so, I just think you need to have dry powder and other, and also personal things can happen to you. You can get, divorced, you can get a lawsuit, you can get hit by a car, a lot of things can happen to you. And we're just living in especially now, we're living in a very uncertain time. And I think you need to plan accordingly.